bringing Israel to the world. This is IBN News.
With News of Israel, I'm Susan Michaels. Over the weekend, Israel's coronavirus czar, Professor Nachman Ash, said officials are considering putting a lockdown in place during the Jewish holiday of Purim, coming up in just over a week. The festivities last year came as the government put in place the first restrictions on public gatherings, which were far less strict and did little to prevent them. Professor Ash said in an interview, "The holiday worries us greatly, and we are mulling whether to use public relations or more serious steps like a nighttime curfew or lockdown. There is still a big worry." Health Ministry Director General Hezi Levy also said last week that the ministry is thinking of imposing tough restrictions this year during the holidays of both Purim and Passover. As Israel emerges from its third lockdown, the cabinet has decided to allow up to 2,000 people into the country each day. With health ministry restrictions in place, the defense ministry has been tasked to prepare hotels to accommodate the arrivals for their quarantine period. However, no decision has been made yet as to when businesses will be allowed to reopen. The Prime Minister told the cabinet that any major lifting of restrictions can only take place when at least 5 million people have been vaccinated in Israel. Ministers, however, still disagree over the pace of further easing of lockdown restrictions. As part of an international agreement brokered by Qatar, the European Union, and the United Nations, Israel will begin importing natural gas into the Gaza Strip to power its lone power station. The deal, signed over the weekend, has been years in the making and is set to improve the Palestinian enclave's abysmal electrical infrastructure, which frequently employs blackouts in order to conserve sacred resources. The agreement requires final approval from Israel, but that seems to have been granted as Qatari envoy to Gaza, Mohammed Al-Mahdi, has already published an official statement on the deal. And a number of complaints have been made against the Central Bureau of Statistics workers for fining and even harassing people for declining to participate in questionnaires, all of which is legal by Israeli law. I'm Susan Michaels.
IBN, Israel Broadcast Network.